computer. There you go. Okay, so managing time the BCBP way. Yan. So, of course, nasa panahon tayo ng COVID and medyo unique yung ating sitwasyon in the sense na hindi ito kamukha nung araw wherein yung time we had the luxury of time, no, and focus. Pero for this time of pandemic, we all know that one of our priorities is our health and safety, no? So, yung ano man na i-allocate natin na time, then we will know saan ba tayo magpa-prioritize. Okay, so this talk is about managing our time, our BCBP way of managing it, no? And what are the obstacles to growth? Yan. Ilista ko lang, no? Number 1 on the list, no, is disorder, lack of discipline, laziness. Bakit laziness? We cannot say no. Minsan, ano, ito yung mga kalaban natin. May biglang nagyaya, may biglang pumunta sa bahay. And our problem basically is hindi tayo makapag-no dahil mahihiyain ang mga Pilipino. So that's one thing na nagiging obstacle sa growth. Of course, alam na natin disorder and lack of discipline. Another thing is manyana. So, alam na natin yan. Mamaya na. So, mamaya na at mamaya na. Until such time, deadline na pala. And lack of priorities and purpose. In our talk sa BCBP Way of Life, tuturuan tayo sana ng paano ba ayusin na ating schedules, ano yung priorities, and of course, with our purpose. And the tyranny of the urgent. Galit tayo ng mga urgent. Ito gusto ko palaging rush, ano? Kaya pa yan, may oras pa. And then until such time, nasa dulo na pala tayo. And yun, deadline na naman. Okay, sabi nga nung isang philosopher, you can always have time for everything. So, tingnan natin kung kaya natin gawin yan. So, let's see. What is the Christian principles for managing time? The first is generosity. Be generous with the Lord and with our brothers and sisters. Yung ito sinasabi lang sa BCBP manual na hahagipin natin dito yung family, no? Lalong-lalo na because we have to be generous with the Lord and our brothers and sisters. May mga pangangailangan sila. Let's give time for them kung may concerns and everything. Of course, kailangan lang na we have to follow our BCBP way of life na kung saan kung meron naman tayong need, we can talk to our action group leaders, and kung hindi kayang saluhin ng action group leader yung ating concern, pwede idaan sa itaas sa ating unit leaders, pwedeng itaas sa governance. Okay? And being generous with our brothers and sisters, in particular with their concerns sa health, okay, and especially during this pandemic, we became witness of this with many of our brothers and sisters. And I just would like to mention specifically Brother Jethro. Nung una pa lang nag-umpisa yung pandemic na yan, namigay na siya ng sa mga nagkakasakit ng kanyang, hindi pa nga approve yun nung time na yon, pero ngayon mukhang ma-approve na, no? Yung kanyang medicine. So that's just one example of being generous. And of course, alam naman natin the reason of Brother Jethro is to save more lives, no? Especially our brothers and sisters. And then of course, he who sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, but he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. from 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6. We can always review that. And we encourage everybody, our brothers and sisters. So basically, we reap what we sow, no? Konti lang yung ating tinanim, konti lang yung aanihin. In practical sense, it is also true. Okay? But in our community, hindi naman tayo naghahangad ngayon ng kabayaran, ano, because our payment will come from the Lord, not from the people we help. Okay? So napakagandang idea. Faithfulness. Okay? So faithfulness, again, from the topic of Christian principles for managing time. Be the people who can be counted on, whose word is reliable. Yan. Eh, medyo minsan na didiskaril tayo. Oo, papangakuan kita ng ganito. Oo, sunduin kita dyan. Alright, dalang kita dyan. And then, hindi naman pala. No? So, let's be faithful. Okay? Hindi lamang tayo community of pang-negosyo, no? Okay? Sabi nga sa commercial, hindi lang pang-sports, pang-pamilya din. Dinaliktad ko lang, basically, no? So, hindi lang tayo for our being with the Lord, but also we look at each other as family members. And that's how I see BCBP Angeles. No? I look at it as a family. And of course, as a family, we have to understand each other. Maski sa pamilya, may mga matigas ang ulo, may mga favorites. Okay? Hindi natin naiiwasan. Pero as much as possible, we give everybody equal opportunities. And of course, from Matthew chapter 25, verse 23, it says that, well done, good and faithful servant. Sana nga, no? Pagdating ng time na harap tayo, yan na maririnig natin sa Panginoon. Well done, good and faithful servant. Well, of course, we can extend this faithfulness to the Lord by looking at other people. Sabi nga kailan ba kita binihisan? Kailan kita pinakain? Kailan kita binisita? Okay? Alam na natin yung istorya na yun. So, those things are good reminders of being faithful sa ating Panginoon. Okay? So, let's take a look at another one. Peace and good order. Yan. Kailangan meron tayong peace in our family, in our household, in our action group even, because our action group is our equivalent of our small family in the BCBP. No? We need good order to be able to answer for ourselves, to be faithful and generous. So, mahirap yung walang order in the family, in the action group, and make it bigger in our community. So, of course, that is why I always remind everybody, of course, marami tayong magagandang ideas, maraming magandang suggestions, but then again, we are also restricted by the rules of the BCBP because we have to follow the BCBP way of life. And mahirap naman if everybody would push. Basta ito gusto ko. Imagine tinignan ko yung huli nating roll call ng members. We are about 99 members. If there will be 99 suggestions and each of them would like their suggestion to be followed, magkakaroon tayo ng chaos. And that's the reason why we have to follow the BCBP way of life, which is submission to authority. I also submit myself to the authority of the RCD. In every meeting that we have in the region, the RCD would always say that he submits himself to the rules given by the AMD. So ganun lang. And I believe naman that the community having survived for so many decades, okay, hindi naman siguro tayo ililid sa masamang papuntang daan, no? So, let's have faith in our governance team. As a matter of fact, wala pa tayong 2 months. So, bigyan natin ng chance yung ating mga action group leaders. Bigyan natin ng chance yung ating unit leaders. Okay? And let's give them a chance to and support them habang tayo ay nag-uumpisa pa lang. Okay? So, even in the COVID situation ng bansa, a lot of people will have different ideas. Okay? So, but then again, let's give each other a chance. Have enough hold of our lives to be faithful and consistent disciples. Ito, napaka-importante. No? We just have to think before we click. No? Especially in my class as a teacher, I always encourage my students. No? We all live in social media, like what we are doing right now. We are not face-to-face, but we're using Zoom. We're using our computer, our laptops, our gadgets, cell phones, okay? So nabawasan yung personal touch, no? But then again, it's always good to be connected through the technology, okay? And yung consistency of being a disciple should always show up in our actions, yan. Because we have to follow some basic rules, especially in social media. And always remember, there are always 2 sides of a coin. Kung nandun ka man sa kabilang side, it does not mean that you are on the wrong side. Just present your side and let the others understand your side. Okay? Have enough hold of our lives to be faithful to the community. Okay? Hindi natin pinagyayabang na, BCBP ako lang yung tama. Of course not. And be consistent disciples. Yan. Disciples of all nations. Napakaganda yung sinabi ng huli sa isang chapter ng Bible. Okay, let's go now to the next. For God is not a God of confusion but of peace. Ito yung ina-avoid ko, no? Particularly on 1 Corinthians chapter 14:33. Huwag sana nating pairalin o magkaroon ng confusion sa ating community, but rather good order as much as possible. Ano? As I've said, we are 99 members, at least from the list. And with 99 members having 99 different ideas, it will be difficult to control the situation. So let's have peace and let's have good manners and right conduct in our practice of social media interchange, because nandito tayo ngayon. Ano? But I'm very happy. In fact, marami tayong webinars na, no? Yung sa San Fernando, si Doktora, our very own Dr. Juliet, kanina, yung again, our breakfast. We learn a lot and we make use of the social media. And siguro we will still have some training. I will ask Brother Martin to prepare a short training on how we can easily navigate. Kasi dito tayo gumagalaw ngayon, ano, sa social media. And in managing our time, of course, if we are proficient in social media or in technology, hindi tayo magasto sa oras, no? And having peace and good order in the community is very much expected from everybody. Good order. For though I am absent in body, sabi nga ni Lord, yet I am with you in spirit, rejoicing to see your good order and the firmness of your faith in Christ. From Colossians chapter 2, verse 5. And you know, I still believe that even though we are not face-to-face, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit can still penetrate even sa ating technology. Okay? And of course, the bad spirit can also ruin order, no? And that is why we have to be alert. We have to act swiftly. Pag nakikita nating magkakaroon ng chance of bad order or disorder, we have to act as one. And let us trust our governance team if ever merong mga changes to be made. And that is to maintain peace and good order in our community. Okay? I remember during the baptism, sabi ko nga sa sharing kong, short sharing ko, I was just listening to the group of Ate Grace and my wife Agnes. And parang tinamaan ako doon sa isang participant na speak in tongues. So, and that's how I know that the Spirit can penetrate technology. Okay? So, make sure that we are aligned. Yan. Malakas ang signal natin. Yan. Okay? And put God first. Ito, the solutions. Yan. Let's go now to the solutions. Let's put God first in everything. But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. From Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. Our time management should focus on, yan, number 1 siya, no? Put God first. Okay? Ano yung sabihin yan? Kung iisipin natin sana na si God ang ating priority, siguro maiiwasan natin yung disorder. Yan. Yung bang itatype ko o yung bang i-message ko, yung bang isi-share ko. Yan. Will it give glory to the Lord? Yan, number 1 concern, no? Yun ang mga test, self-test sa ating social media encounters, ano? As I've said, the reason why I put into place yung social media is because doon tayo kasi nag-work around, ano? Dahil wala nga face-to-face. So, if we think first, yung bang gagawin ko is makakasaya kay Lord. Or, sabi nga ni Meng parate, what would Jesus do? Yan. What would Jesus do? Kung may nakita akong ganitong post or may nakita akong ganyang aksyon ng brother or sister, or nakita kong nangangailangan pala ng tulong yung isa kong brother or sister, or hindi ko na nakikita kaya yung isa kong brother and sister sa action group, what would Jesus do? Yan. Kaya nga may challenge is, in a small family, kung parati kayo kumakain 5 sa hapagkainan, and then suddenly yung isa mong anak ay wala sa hapagkainan, hindi mo ba siya hahanapin? Yan. So what would Jesus do? You put God first in everything. I just would like to share, if I may, a short video, okay, from Denzel Washington. Ito, gusto kong, how do I share it together with my, so I have to stop my sharing, okay, and then share a video, okay, let's see if it works. Advanced video. So, pakita ko lang, ito na, encourage lang ako dito kay Denzel. So, I want to share it with you.
Number 1, put God first. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. 40 years ago, March 27th, 1975, it was 40 years ago, just this past March, I was flunking out of college. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I hope none of you can relate. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I was sitting in my mother's beauty shop. They still call it beauty shops now? What they call it now? Yeah, I was sitting in the beauty parlor. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. And I didn't know who she was, and I said, she said, somebody give me a pen, give me a pencil. I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975, she said, boy, you are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now, mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the army. I didn't know what I was going to do, and she's telling me I'm going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected. I've been directed. I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life, and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with God. Number 2.
There you go. And I hope it also inspired you. So let me go back to my slides. So putting God first, coming from an actor, okay? So maybe hindi naman siya member ng BCBP siguro, pero from an ordinary person, we can hear those words. Very inspiring. Okay, so, oops, parang bumalik. Okay, let's move on to the solutions. Schedules actually free us. So if we can organize our schedules, our basis for saying no to conflicting activities based on their relative importance. Kasi kung meron tayong schedule, uy, ganito pala, third Saturday, merong, let's say, joint breakfast, or fourth Saturday, etc. No? And then we know that at 8 o'clock, meron pala tayong breakfast. Hopefully, we can enter our Zoom at 8 o'clock, not 8:30. So we can start our Zoom breakfast at 8 o'clock. And of course, meron kasi tayong mga members and guests who are also having schedules of their own. Kung matatapos sila ng 9:30 or 10 o'clock yung ating breakfast at meron silang schedule ng 9 o'clock, then definitely we cannot wait. They cannot wait for the breakfast to finish. So ganun lang yun. Sabi ko nga sa meetings ko when I was still in the corporate world, sabi ko, pagka tayo nag-start ng late, we are penalizing those who are coming in on time. Okay? Kasi hinihintay natin yung late. But then again, of course, we are very nice people. Hintayin natin kasi 4 pa lang tayo sa breakfast room. Oo, 5 pa lang tayo. But then of course, if we can only start on time at 8 o'clock, then we can all probably finish at 9 o'clock. So yung mga nagtatrabaho, they can go back to their work, no? And it's just a matter of putting our schedules ahead. Kaya nga pagka meron tayong schedule at may pumasok na isang tao, in-invite tayo, oh sorry, meron akong schedule ng 8 o'clock eh. Meron kaming breakfast. Okay. So hindi yung first come first serve. Okay? Una ako nagsabi sa iyo eh. Oh, hindi naman gano'n. Kaso nga pero na akong naka-schedule. So reject laziness, easy way out. Of course, nakita natin naman sa sharing kanina how laziness affected our sharer, and we do not want that to happen to us. And we have to seek help from our AGLs and other strong Christians. Yan. Hindi naman tayo lahat pare-pareho ng level ng strength when it comes to faith, no? Meron yung iba talagang pinagdaanan na yung hirap at many times pag dumaan ka na sa hirap ng yung sarili, doon na nasusubok yung faith. Okay? Kaya napakahalaga that we all attend our breakfast. Okay? So bakit kamo? Kasi may mga times na nandun yung sharing. And especially during these times, I was encouraging everyone, even yung mga medyo nawawala na sa ating paningin ng mga members, sana ma-attend din sila ng mga free to follow the Lord teaching so that ma-review. Okay? I do not believe na lahat matalinong kamukha nung share natin kanina. No? I still believe that one way or another, makakalimutan natin yung mga pinag-aralan natin. I myself is an example. No? Ako hindi ko kabisado lahat yung mga tinake up sa CLP, free to follow. Naging speaker pa ako, pero yung mga diniscuss ko those times, medyo marami ng kinalawang na sa aking memorya. So seek help from HL so that we will always be strong in faith as Christians. And our basic daily life order, personal time management, nagbigay ako sa inyo ng of course yung ating priority list. I will not discuss that anymore. We all know how to use it. We're supposed to have some kind of but I will share with you the form. No? Begin by seeing what your main responsibilities are and make a list of priorities by area. Yeah. Tawan daw natin, ano ba yung mga priorities natin? Of course, yung mga mothers, mga around, ang priorities nila pwedeng yung bukod sa trabaho, of course, nandun yung pamilya, pagkain, pagluto, etc. At yung mga fathers naman around, yung kanilang trabaho to provide financial support to the family, nandun din yun. But then again, sabi nga ni Denzel at sabi ng ating talk, let's put God first in everything. Okay? So, identify what are essential. Okay? Yung essential, parang pinaka-essence na yan ng ano, yun na yung, hindi lang siya importante, no? Yung kailangan. Some may be important but not essential. So activities which would make me irresponsible if I do not do. Kung hindi ko gagawin, magiging irresponsible ako. And those are the essential things. Okay? Of course, lalo ngayon, we are in a pandemic, we are nasa bahay. Habang nag-a-attend tayo ng online na ganyan, biglang kumulo yung tubig. Yung yung sinasalang mo, i-off mo muna. So may mga distraction. And that happens not only with us, it happens also in schools, no, activities. Yung mga estudyante ko, they always have yung mga ganyang mga incidences. But however, siguro kung nakaayos, we can minimize them. Okay? So, what else would be good to do if I can, no? If I could? Activities you would like to do if you had the time. Okay? And rank them. Rank our priorities or our list. Unahin ko to, susunod dito, pangatlo to. But I hope, although we are all in the same boat, no? Hindi tayo makalabas, hindi tayo makasocialize except for some of us na kailangan lumabas like Sister G, Brother Willie, pumapasok sa opisina, Brother Jethro, or many of us, no? But many of us are on the same level, nasa bahay. So at home, we can do also priority listing, and ranking them would help us identify which have to be first and last. And then, let's take a look at strategic observations. Conflicts do not usually occur between the major areas, but between the lower priorities in each area. Okay, what does it mean? Yung mga less priority, doon na nagkakaentanggal yung ating activities. Kasi pare-pareho na silang less priority. So, uunahin mo na lang siguro kung ano yung feel mong gusto mo. Okay? But then again, I hope and I pray na yung ating BCBP activities will not fall doon sa area na pinaka-least priority. Sana naman hindi. No? That's why, kung meron tayong breakfast activities, meron tayong action group responsibilities, napakarami. Meron pa tayong yung I forgot. Assembly, okay? Meron din tayong First Friday and teachings. Okay, I'm not discounting them. They are all equally important, of course, because ganun yun eh, andun yung nourishments. So we need them. Now, we should not let ourselves be pressured by the expectations of others. Ni-expect kita eh, dapat nandun ka daw. Of course, no? Kung talaga naman, we know it by ourselves, no? Kung alam mong hindi ka makakapunta, hindi ka makaka-join, then you know it. Of course, it's you, between you and the Lord, no? Kung talagang hindi ka maka-attend ng First Friday, that is the reason why may mga suggestions, no? And I already post this to the RCD kasi yung First Friday Mass, alam natin yung oras. Paano kung yung kagaya ni Brother Willie, pauwi pa lang from the office? Paano siya makaka-join sa First Friday Mass? O baka pagdating naman sa bahay, patapos na yung teachings. So all of these things. So hindi naman natin ini-ignore yung mga situation. That's why I'm telling you, we need a lot of communications. And suggestions will be always welcome para naman makarating sa taas din, sa RCD natin for those things, no? So, pero let us not be pressured. Masyado na tayong stress sa panahon ngayon, wag na nating dagdagan ng stress. Okay? And before committing ourselves to do something, we should try to see if we can do it. Ito yung mga request, no? So, let's try and see. Kaya ba natin gawin bago tayo mag-commit? Okay. And then, the weekly schedule, make a basic weekly schedule that contains all your set commitments. I will share with you later kung ano yung itsura niyan. And the rest is what you have to work with, where you balance your lower priorities. Yan. So yung weekly schedule is very important. Make monthly and yearly schedules for things that do not go on a weekly schedule. Kung wala sa weekly, baka namang monthly siya or yearly siya. Even your governance team, gumagawa rin ng annual planning wherein we put our weekly schedule and monthly schedule sa calendar. So hindi lang kayo yung gumagawa ng personal time management. We are also doing the community time management. And the regular planning time would be to recommend a weekly planning time. Lalo na sa mga new members, this is just to encourage everyone so that you can see ang priority niyo. Okay? And then you can also see saan mo isisingit yung BCBP into your activity. Okay? When I say isisingit, I mean, dapat sana nakalagay pa rin siya doon. And put it into your weekly schedule first. No? Yan, yung mga activities. And then, the discipline of personal order, we recommend that you take on scheduling as a practice and keep working at it. And it will get easier in time. Okay, discuss this in your action groups and in your one-on-one meetings with your action group leader. I hope the action group leaders are here. Pero na-notice ko may mga wala. And there is always an appointed time for everything. Sabi nga sa Ecclesiastes chapter 3. I want you all to read that. And for discussion starters, I have here 3 questions. Is there anything that needs clarification? What benefit can you see in making a living and living according to a schedule? And what will make doing this regularly hard for you? Or is there anything in your life that might make scheduling impossible? So as I've said, let me share with you. Okay, you can take a screenshot of the discussion starters if you can be using your gadgets. Now, I want to share with you again the schedule, the sample schedule done by, made by BCBP. I have 2 forms here, forms A and B. So let me share that. Where is it? Ito lang. Forms A. This is the first form. The personal priority list. Okay. So, hello? Yes? Meron bang nagtaas ng kamay? Hello? Hello? Anybody would like to say something? Meron ba? Yeah. Okay, your mic is on. Do you have any questions, Sister Gigi?
Ay, wala po, wala. Ba't ako lang po yung babae pala? Nasaan na yung kasama ko?
Hindi naman, nandiyan si Day Tolentino. Si Ted.
Hindi ko lang nakita. Sige po, kala ko hindi ako kasama. Nakikinig ako, hindi naman pala ako kasama. O sige po.
Ate G, kaya kami.
Well, nakakakit yan. Lalaki lang ang nakakakit ko.
Oh, ayaw mo nun?
Ati you can bet ang papay Jen Jen.
O sige po.
Sige. It's okay.
Bet ang yan gagamitan ni. Kasi mag-echo-echo eh.
Okay.
So let's go back to the form. Ito yung personal priorities list form. So sa taas, nandun yung first priority. And then sa baba yung second priority. Of course, you can always have your third priority if you want. And nakasulat dito nga, sabi ko, yung uunahin most of the time will be your family, our community, our church, our job, personal, at hinuli ko pa si God, ano? Para naman, although normally you will put God first, no? Pero it's up to you. This form came from our BCBP material. So just write down here kung ano ba yung uunahin natin sa priority sa family, community. And then from your priority list, meron tayong form B. Okay? Nakikita niyo ba yung form B, yung weekly schedule or hindi? Can you see it? No? No? Okay. So punta tayo ngayon sa sharing ng form B. Ito. Yan. You can see now form B. Hello?
Yes, yes. Weekly.
Yan. Ayan, no? Meron siyang weekly. Weekly naman. So of course, as I've said, it's up to us to write down. Ito, nag-umpisa ka ng 5 a.m. hanggang 11 p.m. Ano? So, pag Sundays, Monday, etc. Siguro yung Sabado, dapat nakalagay dito, 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Yung breakfast, ano? Para nandun siya. But of course, napakarami ng facilities for us to be reminded of our schedules. Yung sa cellphone, meron tayo ditong tinatawag na schedule, no? Yung, where's my phone? Sa cellphone ninyo, pag-aralan nyo, paglaruan nyo, meron ditong calendar. Share with you, no? Yan. Ewan ko kung nakikita. Yan. Meron tong calendar. Okay? Hindi yata malinaw. Yung cellphone ninyo, if you open your calendar, pwede kayo maglagay din doon. And then it will alarm pagka dumating na yung time na yun or sometimes 10 minutes before, 5 minutes before. Pwede ka mag-click doon ng petsa, ng date, tapos lagyan mo ng title, BCBP Breakfast. Siguro later on, pwede ako mag-discuss tungkol dito. And mag-a-alarm siya. Ginagawa ko to sa klase ko, no? Sa classroom. Nag-a-alarm, sasabihin ng cellphone ko, time na ng klase mo, ganyan-ganyan, ganitong section, etc. Ganitong subject. And it helps, no? Of course, especially for me at 62, I am very much forgetful already. So yung cellphone can help us. So doon sa calendar, tingnan nyo sa cellphone. Paglaruan nyo, wala naman, hindi naman masisira yung cellphone nyo. So ito kasi nakasulat dito, nakikita nyo sa screen, supposedly paper ito, no? Sinusulat natin. But because of technology, we have a better way or easier way of doing our schedules, and that is through our calendar sa cellphone. Okay? Sa cellphone, I'm pretty sure, pwede nyo paglaruan. Tingnan nyo, gawa kayo kunyari, anong oras na ngayon, mag-alas 11 pa lang, gawa ka ng schedule ng 12 o'clock. Mamaya, tingnan mo kung mag-alarm o hindi. Sabihin mo doon, lunch time na. O, malalaman mo yun, mag-alarm ka, and then iseset mo 5 minutes before, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, etc. So, hopefully we can all schedule our breakfast at 7:30 or 7:45. So, or kung 8 o'clock man yung breakfast natin, sabay-sabay tayo ng 8 o'clock. At yung alarm natin will alarm 15 minutes, then 7:45 pwede na tayo mag-log in. No? Madaling-madali. And of course, kung meron tayong action group meetings for the AGLs, ask your members to do also the same thing. I-alarm na ninyo. At yung maganda rito sa cellphone calendar, you can choose na recurring. Ibig sabihin, every week, nangyayari siya. O every month, yan. Pwede, kasi kung ginawa mong every month siya mag-a-alarm sa'yo. Kung ginawa mong every week din siya mag-a-alarm sa'yo. Di ba, ang ganda? Napakadali. As I've said a while ago, try nyo ngayon, gawa kayo ng schedule ng lunch. Tignan nyo kung i-alarm siya ng mas maaga before 12 o'clock. Just make sure that your time zone is Philippines, no? Kasi baka mamaya ang time zone nyo is USA, ilagay nyo ng 12 lunch time, mamaya pa yung midnight mag-a-alarm. So, ganun lang siya. So, very useful in setting up your schedule. Of course, there was a time na puno ako ng isang linggo, ang dami kong kasing meeting sa school, ano? So, yun, nilalagay ko lang lahat doon. And I'm always reminded of the schedule. So, maybe that will help. Although itong sinasabi ko nga na to, these two forms were used in the past nung face-to-face pa. Okay? Pero this time around, meron na tayong technology. We can use our technological materials or gadgets to help us in scheduling. Okay? So, that's it, I think. Let me see my slides kung meron pa. Let me see. No? Balik tayo sa slides. Okay. So, as I've said, those are the topics or the questions for discussion. If we have time, normally we will discuss it separate during breakout rooms. But if you have time, we can discuss it. But it's already what 10:30, almost 10:30. And I just want to remind you that we are in the process of reinforcing our chapter. And as I asked a while ago, wala pa naman tayong 2 months in the process. And I hope everybody will be understanding in our activities. Marami pang walang activities, magkukulang pa tayo. Like for example nga, yung directorate ni Kongmar, bago lang siya. So, pinag-aaralan pa natin and we're still looking for activities on that. And we have a lot of plans for the action groups. Even yung TikTok plan, challenge natin, hindi pa lang naisusulat yung mechanics, but I'm pretty sure Brother Jetro is very excited to implement it already. Pinag-uusapan pa sa governance. Okay? And I think with that, thank you very much for being with us during this session.
Ready to relaxing bayad.
Okay. Brother Meng, kailangan ba i-discuss yung discussion? O before I violate anything?
Wala naman bro.
Parang challenge lang. Parang ganun lang. Oo. So challenge lang yon yung mga pinost ko kaninang questions. So that's it, guys. Parang vlog lang. That's it, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for your time. Saan? Okay, so if you have questions, you can raise now. Otherwise, thank you very much. I stop recording.